This is following the TEDx talk, How Unicorns Wind Up in Straitjackets. Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Unicorns Out of a Straitjacket, meaning very talented people who are doing the wrong job for them or going about their career in the wrong way. Today, I have a very exciting guest all the way from the US, and she's going to be sharing her career change story with you, or her career story with you. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce today Dr. Amanda Dingman. Hi, Amanda.
Hello, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
My
Uh,
pleasure. Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
sure, I'm, as you said, Dr. Amanda Dingman. I'm a doctor of physiotherapy or a doctor of rehabilitation. I specialize in getting people back to movement after a neurological, cardiac, or an orthopedic issue.
Wow, that is a huge job. And I understand you were working in a huge clinic before, in a huge hospital before.
Yes, I've worked in some of the top hospitals and rehabilitation centers in Boston, New York, and Washington, D.C. in America.
It's
Um,
amazing. And tell us about
yes.
your career story. How did you get here?
Well, even in high school, I recall everyone asking what you want to do with the rest of your life and being panicked because I had absolutely no idea of what I would want to do day in and day out that wouldn't drive me crazy. I have a tendency to love to learn new things on a daily basis. I need every day to be different, and I didn't want to stand or sit at all day. And remember my mother saying, "Good luck." Fine.
Good.
And I ended up getting injured and in physiotherapy myself and fell in love with it. I do love my career choice. It took me a little while to find it, but I'm glad that I did find it. But for me, the career change was finding a different location for my career. The US is great, but it's a very work-based society, and I was working 60, sometimes 80 hours a week. And there was no work-life balance. So I've actually changed countries. I'm in Europe now, and it's a much more relaxed lifestyle, a much better work-life balance.
Wow. So the career change for you was finding a career that really suited your lifestyle and your sort of goals and values in life, rather than going for the bog standard what a physiotherapist comes with, or what a doctor of rehabilitation would be, and the ridiculous long hours, 80 hours.
Yes, there's a high need for them in America, which is great because the money is good and everything else is nice, but they'll work you to death if you let them.
I always say there's three reasons why people change careers. It's either to change career to get more money, or improve their financial situation. There's people change it to suit their lifestyle. Seems like that's what you did, or to find purpose as well. It seems like this is your purpose. You said you enjoyed and you benefited from it yourself, and I love that. Not many people get to experience that and go, "Oh, when I grow up, I want to do that." So that was a pretty cool realization for you, must have been.
Yes, it was. I was very fortunate to find out still quite young in my life exactly what I wanted to do, and that I still love it now, 15 plus years later. But it's been great.
Amazing. And talking about the three steps in the TEDx talk, what were the clues for you earlier on that pointed you to this career in your childhood and your hobbies?
The clues for me is that I kind of joke that I do a little bit of everything, but not anything particularly perfectly. I've always been a very curious child. I've always loved to learn new things. So for me, I need a constant change or an ability to learn within the career choice that I choose. And I can't do the same thing every day because I just find it more monotonous and boring for me.
Yeah.
Um, I also need to be around people. I feed off of other people and their stories and being able to help them.
Yeah.
Um, Particularly with more science and math background, I was always very good at those in school. lending me more towards kind of a health care type position,
Mhm.
but trying to find something where I get to help people every day in a science field.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty cool. And connecting the dots then when we're talking about step two, apart from helping people, having the variety in this field, what were the dots for you in terms of lifestyle, hobbies, and openness that brought you here?
For me, connecting the dots were more trying to find a career that would enable me to have a vast knowledge about a number of different types of disorders
Okay.
or things in general, so that I can not always see the same type of person, but have a wider variety or same type of disability or things to that nature.
Right.
Um, Also having a wide range of ages to be able to work with. And I also knew that I wanted to have a family and be around with my children and around with my family as well. So things like being a surgeon or others where you're on call 24/7 just wasn't the lifestyle I wanted. I didn't want to be the mother that was perpetually missing all the events because she got called into work or something to that nature. So I wanted to try to find something that had that balance.
Sounds like you thought about it, and it's a very important point that you raised because it's a huge thing for a lot of, especially women, about the family life and balancing that with work life. So it's really important that you figured that out and thought, okay, how can I craft one that really suits me as Dr. Dingman and how I want to work as a doctor and share my gifts with the world. I love that.
Thank
Wow.
you.
And your need for variety definitely comes out. I can see that. So there's a thread there.
Yes.
Okay. So fast forward now, how are you applying this in your career for the third step? How is your current career completely tailored, custom made for you?
So for me, again, I'm a doctor of physical therapy, doctor of rehabilitation. So I could specialize within that, but I enjoy being the generalist. I see anywhere from children ages, anywhere from age 4 up to 109 or more that I've worked with. I do the neurology, cardiology, and orthopedics. But I've also decided to create my own clinic and work for myself in a European country, which then gives me the flexibility to make my own hours and have a much better work-life balance to be able to pick and choose what aspects of that and what clients that I take and how many clients I take instead of having to fulfill a certain number of hours or working those 60 to 80 hour weeks like I was.
Wow, that's important. That's huge. And I hope this resonates with a lot of people because I know certainly a lot of clients I've worked with that don't feel like they have the choice, especially when you're in the professions in the traditional sense of the word. You don't feel
Yes,
like you have a choice. If you go into law, this is it, and you work this many hours. If you're a consultant, this is a busy period, and you don't have a choice. But for you to custom make the medical profession, I think that that is a huge step and a huge um, role model for a lot of other careers that they can custom make it in their field for them. So that's really beautiful.
absolutely. And having said that, with the custom making, for me to custom make a job in the US, I could, but it would take so much more time, effort, and energy to try to get it with the US insurance system, that to go elsewhere in the world or to look at other options just makes it a much easier and more viable transition for me without having to spend the next 4 years working crazy hours to set up my own business. So it's all in the location as well.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That's a very important tip too. So, what's the one thing would you say to someone that's considering like a similar career change or a similar career journey where they want to really customize their career to suit their needs? What's the one advice you'd have for them?
I think it's making sure that you follow your heart and you do what you love, and that even if you're doing what you love but still feel frustrated, it's not always necessarily a career change that you need, but perhaps a change in location to something that better suits you and appreciates you for who you are.
There's nothing to be said after that. It's not always a career change, but also a career, a location, or even just the delivery, the how. And I think that's very important because in my field, we talk a lot about career change from one field to the next, but we don't actually talk enough about in the delivery of how to do it or how to customize it so it suits you. So I'm really glad that you've brought this to light because this is huge, and I'm sure a lot of people will really value this. I'm going to share Dr. Dingman's details with you coming up shortly. So definitely, if you want to talk to her more about this, find out about what she does, and of course, seek medical advice. Again, she spoke about location, so she's very flexible. She's based in Europe at the moment, so definitely feel free to contact her. And genuinely, she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and you can tell that she's suited for her role because she's just such a people person. So it was natural that she was going to work with people. Thank you so much, Dr. Dingman, for being with us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. The pleasure was all mine. Don't be a unicorn in a straitjacket.
What she said.